Ever catch yourself people watching and thinking people are so weird?
Uh-huh. All the time.
Well, today we're diving into a research method that can help us understand those weird and wonderful behaviors.
Yeah.
Grounded theory.
It really flips the script on how we think about research.
Oh, how so?
Well, imagine this. You don't start with a hypothesis.
Okay, so no preconceived notions.
Exactly. You jump right into the data,
Hmm.
interviews, observations, maybe even old diaries,
Interesting. And then what?
and you let the theory grow from what you find.
You let the world tell its own story.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Now, you've shared some excerpts from our research paper on grounded theory.
I have.
What were some of the big aha moments for you?
Well, the first thing that really jumped out at me was this idea of a good theory.
A good theory.
Yeah, in grounded theory, it's not just about being right or wrong.
It's not.
No, it's about creating a theory that's deeply rooted in the data. They can flex and adapt to different situations.
So it's like a chameleon theory. It blends in with the environment.
Exactly. And, you know, the paper makes another point that really clicked for me.
What's that?
Grounded theory is obsessed with processes.
Processes.
Yeah, think about it like learning to bake a cake. You wouldn't just look at the finished product. You'd want to understand each step.
Right. Each ingredient.
Yes, each transformation along the way.
Oh, okay, I see. So it's about understanding the how and the why things unfold, not just the end result.
Exactly.
Now, this is reminding me of something else the paper mentioned, theoretical sensitivity.
Yes.
What exactly is that?
It's like having a sixth sense for patterns and connections.
A sixth sense.
Yeah, imagine you're a detective at a crime scene. Someone with theoretical sensitivity wouldn't just see the obvious clues. They'd pick up on subtle details, make unexpected connections,
Interesting.
and maybe even notice what's missing.
So it's about being a bit of a Sherlock Holmes, but for research.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
Now, the paper also mentioned that grounded theory helps researchers form hypotheses. Now, isn't that backwards? Don't you usually start with a hypothesis?
You'd think so, right? But in grounded theory, your hypotheses emerge from the data itself.
Oh, okay.
It's a much more organic process.
So you're constantly learning and adapting your thinking as you go.
Yeah.
That actually sounds kind of freeing.
It is.
But I have to ask, with all this talk about data, what exactly counts as data in grounded theory?
That's the beauty of it. Almost anything goes. Field notes, casual conversations, even your own personal reflections can become data.
Wow.
The paper even mentions interviewing yourself.
Hold on, interviewing yourself?
Yeah.
That sounds a little unusual.
It might seem strange, but it can really help you unearth hidden biases and bring your own unique expertise into the research. It's like having a brainstorming session with your smartest self.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to see how this approach really shakes things up.
It does.
Now, the paper went on to describe the actual steps involved in grounded theory research.
Right.
Let's break those down. First up, memoing. What is that all about?
Memoing is like keeping a research diary.
A diary.
Yeah, as you're sifting through the data, you jot down your initial thoughts, questions, and those light bulb moments. You're essentially having a conversation with the data, capturing your evolving understanding.
So it's not just about passively absorbing information.
Right.
You're actively engaging with it.
Exactly. And the paper highlights different types of memos, too.
Oh.
Some capture theoretical musings, others document specific observations, and some even help you categorize the data, kind of like creating your own research hashtags.
Okay, so you're jotting down all these memos. Your desk is probably covered in them. What happens next?
Well, the paper mentions sorting.
Sorting.
That's where you start making sense of the chaos.
Okay, so how does that work?
Imagine you're piecing together a giant jigsaw puzzle.
Okay.
Sorting is where you start arranging those memos, finding patterns, and seeing which pieces fit together. It's about bringing order to the initial flurry of insights.
So you're starting to see the bigger picture emerge.
Exactly. You're identifying key themes, connections, and maybe even starting to see the outline of a theory taking shape. And then comes the exciting part, at least for me,
What's that?
the writing stage.
So this is where you actually get to, like, put pen to paper or fingers to keyboard and start crafting the theory itself.
That's right. You weave together all those sorted memos, connect them to existing research, and build a compelling narrative that explains what you've uncovered. It's like writing the final chapter of a detective novel, revealing the solution to the mystery.
I love that analogy.
Thanks.
Now, the paper also delves into different types of coding used in grounded theory.
Yes.
I have to admit, this part can feel a bit technical.
Oh, yeah.
Can you help us unpack it?
Absolutely. Think of coding like a labeling system for your data.
Okay.
You start with open coding, where you break down the information into smaller chunks and give them labels, like highlighting keywords in a text. It's about creating the building blocks for your theory.
So you're essentially creating a vocabulary for your research.
Yes. And then comes axial coding. This is where you start connecting those codes, exploring relationships and potential cause and effect links. It's like taking those building blocks and assembling them into a framework.
So you're starting to see how those individual pieces fit together to form a larger structure.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And finally, you have selective coding, where you identify the core category of your theory, the central theme, and relate everything else back to it. It's like finding the heart of the story and showing how all the other elements connect to it.
So you're creating a central narrative, a storyline that makes sense of the entire research journey.
Exactly. And that's what makes grounded theory so powerful. It's a way of building theories that are truly grounded in the data, that can adapt to new information, and that ultimately help us understand the complexities of human behavior.
I like that.
Me too.
You know, this is making me think about all the theories we encounter every day.
Oh, yeah.
In the news, on social media,
okay.
even just in casual conversations. How can we know if those theories are actually well-grounded?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it highlights one of the strengths of grounded theory.
What's that?
It's all about building theories from the ground up, based on real-world observations and experiences.
But couldn't there be some bias there?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, the researcher's the one choosing what data to collect and how to interpret it.
Right. You're hitting on a key point.
Okay.
And the paper actually addresses this head on.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. Grounded theory researchers are very aware of the potential for bias, so they build in safeguards to keep themselves honest.
Safeguards. Okay, tell me more about these safeguards. I'm all ears.
Okay, well, one of the big ones is this idea of constant comparison.
Constant comparison.
Remember how we talked about sorting memos and looking for patterns?
Yeah, like putting together a puzzle.
Well, it's not just about finding pieces that fit.
Okay.
It's also about actively searching for pieces that don't fit, that challenge your assumptions, that make you question your emerging theory.
Oh, so it's about being willing to be wrong.
It's exactly.
To let the data lead you in unexpected directions.
Yeah, and another safeguard is this practice of member checking.
Member checking, what's that?
It's actually pretty simple. You share your findings with the people you studied and get their feedback.
Oh, so you're essentially saying, hey, does this resonate with your experience? Am I getting this right?
Precisely. It's a way of making sure your theory isn't just an academic exercise.
Okay.
It's actually reflecting the lived realities of the people involved.
I see.
And speaking of lived realities,
Yeah.
that brings us back to one of the core tenets of grounded theory. This emphasis on understanding processes.
Yes, the paper really hammered that point home.
Mm.
Can you elaborate on why that's so important?
Sure. Imagine trying to understand a dance just by looking at a still photograph.
Okay.
You'd miss all the movement,
The rhythm.
the flow.
Right.
Grounded theory is like watching the dance unfold.
Oh, okay.
It's about understanding how people make sense of their world, how their actions shape their experiences, how things change over time.
It's almost like grounded theory is as much about storytelling as it is about scientific analysis.
You're spot on. And the paper even suggests that grounded theory can challenge traditional power dynamics in research.
Intriguing. Tell me more about that.
Well, traditionally, the researcher is seen as the expert.
Right, the one holding all the cards.
Exactly. But grounded theory, with its emphasis on member checking and valuing lived experiences, flips that script.
Okay.
It gives the participants a voice, a chance to shape the research, and ensure that the findings are truly grounded in their reality.
That's a really powerful idea, empowering the people you're studying to become co-creators of knowledge.
It is.
Okay, I'm sold on the theoretical stuff. But let's talk practical applications.
Okay.
How is grounded theory actually being used to solve real-world problems?
Oh, the applications are incredibly diverse.
Really?
Yeah, for example, in healthcare, it's been used to understand the experiences of patients with chronic illnesses.
Oh, wow.
Imagine being able to design treatment plans that are not just about the disease, but about the whole person.
Right.
Their challenges, their needs, their hopes.
So it's about moving beyond the textbook and really listening to what patients are going through?
Exactly. And in education,
Okay.
grounded theory is being used to explore things like student motivation, classroom dynamics, the effectiveness of different teaching methods.
Interesting.
The findings can help create more engaging learning environments tailored to the unique needs of each student.
Okay, healthcare education. What else? I bet we could come up with a million examples.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
The business world is another great example.
Okay.
Grounded theory can help understand consumer behavior,
Right.
identify emerging market trends, even design products and services that actually meet people's needs.
This is starting to feel like grounded theory has its fingers in every pie.
It kind of does.
And that actually brings up a point I've been wondering about.
What's that?
We've talked a lot about the strengths,
Right.
but no research approach is perfect.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right. What are some of the limitations of grounded theory?
That's a fair question, and the paper does acknowledge that grounded theory has its blind spots.
Okay, such as?
Well, one of them, as we've discussed, is the potential for researcher bias, even with all those safeguards in place.
So complete objectivity is probably a myth, no matter how hard we try.
It's something to be aware of, for sure. Another limitation is the time and resources involved.
Uh-huh.
Grounded theory research is not for the impatient. It requires careful planning,
Right.
data collection analysis, and constant reflection.
It sounds like a marathon, not a sprint.
You could say that, and another consideration is the scope of grounded theory research.
Okay.
It's often focused on understanding very specific processes or phenomena within a particular context.
Right.
It's not about creating those grand sweeping theories that explain everything under the sun.
So it's about depth over breadth, getting really granular and specific.
Exactly. And finally, it's important to remember that even though grounded theory is rooted in real-world data,
Yeah.
the findings are still interpretations.
Oh.
They're not absolute truth, and they should always be open to scrutiny and debate.
It's about embracing the ambiguity and recognizing that knowledge is constantly evolving. We're never really done learning, are we?
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Grounded theory reminds us that research is a journey, not a destination. It's about engaging with the messiness of the world and making sense of it in a rigorous and insightful way.
It strikes me that this approach to research is really about humility, isn't it?
How so?
Well, we're acknowledging that we don't have all the answers up front, and we're willing to let the data guide us.
That's a great observation, and I think that's what makes grounded theory so powerful. It's a constant reminder that learning is a lifelong process,
Right.
and that we should always be open to new insights and perspectives.
So it's not just about being right or wrong.
No.
It's about being curious, being willing to be surprised,
Right.
being okay with not knowing everything. That's actually quite liberating, isn't it?
It is. And, as we wrap up our deep dive into grounded theory,
Yeah.
I think it's worth pondering how these principles can be applied beyond academia,
Oh, interesting.
even in our own daily lives.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How can we become everyday grounded theorists?
Well, think about the core ideas we've discussed.
Okay.
Observing the world around you, noticing patterns, asking questions, seeking out diverse perspectives, constantly testing and refining your understanding.
Right.
These are valuable skills no matter what you do or where you go.
So it's about approaching life with a curious and open mind, always looking for those aha moments.
Exactly. And remember, it's okay to be wrong, to change your mind, to embrace ambiguity.
Yeah.
In fact, those are often the moments where the most profound learning takes place.
This has been such an eye-opening exploration of grounded theory.
It has.
We've learned about its origins, its methods, its applications, even its limitations.
Right.
But most importantly, I think we've gained a deeper appreciation for the power of grounding our understanding in real-world observations and experiences.
Absolutely.
If this deep dive has piqued your curiosity,
Yeah. We encourage you to seek out the full research paper we've been discussing. It's packed with even more insights and examples. And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to embark on your own journey of discovery grounded in the rich tapestry of human experience.
Happy exploring.
Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Your support helps us keep creating valuable content like this. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Join our community for more insights into psychology and personal development. Let's grow and learn together. See you in the next video.